welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Shelly, and today I'll be preparing brown stewed pork. These are the ingredients I'll be using. I'll be using some pork that I've already washed with water and vinegar. These are the seasonings / vegetables that I'll be blending and using to marinate the meat. I'll be using some white onions, thyme, ginger, garlic, green onions, same thing as scallions, and some pimento. For my powdered seasoning, I'll be using some Creole seasoning, Maggi all-purpose seasoning, Nature's Seasons seasoning blend, and some SHELLY'S. I'll also be using some Grace Jamaican browning and some vegetable oil. Inside here I have some white onions, green onions, garlic, carrots, and some pieces of thyme. I'll be using these later on in the video. Next thing I'll be doing, I'll be adding my seasonings / vegetables to the blender. Next, I'll be adding a little water. Not too much. Following that, I'm just going to go ahead and cover the blender. Blend. Now this is my marinating seasoning after blending. Next, I'll be seasoning the meat. The first thing I'll be adding some of my seasoning blend. Next, Creole seasoning. Following that, some of my SHELLY'S. Then some of my Maggi all-purpose seasoning. Remember, after adding these powdered seasonings, you do not have to add any salt. Next, I'll be adding a little of my Grace Jamaican browning. Not too much, because if you add too much, the meat is either going to be too dark or too bitter. What you can do in order to control the amount of browning you pour on the meat, you can pour some of the browning inside the cap and then pour the browning from the cap to the meat. Then finally, I'll be adding my blended seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and incorporate everything, or just mix in my seasonings. This is the meat after seasoning. Next, I'm just going to cover and allow to marinate for about 3 hours. Remember, the longer you leave the meat to marinate, the better it tastes, because that way the seasoning gets to soak into the meat more. Now that the meat has been marinated, let's start cooking. I have my pressure cooker here on the stove. I'll be adding some of the oil. I do not want to add too much because the pork is already fatty. So I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of oil. I'll just allow the oil to preheat for a while. Next, I'll be adding the marinated pork, including the seasoning, the marinated sauce. Guys, while the meat is still browning, I'll be checking on it because I do not want it to stick in the pot or start burning. This is the meat after browning. Next thing I'll be doing, I'll be adding some water to the pot. Now that the meat has been cooked, I'm going to go ahead and add my remaining vegetables slash seasonings. So now I'll be adding the white onions, garlic, carrots, thyme, green onions, and previously I forgot to mention my Scotch bonnet pepper. So I'll be adding a little Scotch bonnet pepper also. I am going to allow to cook for another 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and thicken my sauce with a little flour mixed with a little water. I'm going to give it a little stir. I'll just leave for another 3 minutes on low heat. Now this is my stewed pork. Stewed pork. So guys, I'll be serving my stewed pork with some rice and peas. That's gungo rice and peas. And some vegetables. Thank you for watching. See you next time.